evening. Fire investigators, by the way, remain on the scene trying to determine an exact cause. You know, officials stopped short of speculating and said they would not. So we should know more about that, if not tonight, then at some point over the weekend. Now, having said that, I want to show you what's going on behind me. And by the way, fire crews, even as of this afternoon, were still dousing some of the hot spots, and you can see smoke still rising from the smoldering embers of yesterday's fire. Now, behind me would have been that iconic funhouse sign. It would have been pointing right at us down the beach here. Well, now that sign is part of all that scorched debris. When the iconic funhouse sign collapsed into the inferno, it was almost a cruel and twisted insult to a place still trying to recover, now almost a year later, from Superstorm Sandy.
Just heartbreak. That you can only take so much.
Today, New Jersey Governor Chris Christie affirmed neither fire nor storm will deter the rebuilding efforts.
We will rebuild. We'll make new memories for our families because that's what we do.
Yesterday's fire may have started at the Coors Frozen Custard Shop along the Seaside Park section of Boardwalk. 25 to 30 mile per hour winds fueled it as roughly 400 firefighters struggled to contain it, cutting a fire line into the boardwalk.
If it had gotten by us in Lincoln Avenue, there's no telling where it would have stopped.
Crews had to pull water from nearby Barnegat Bay because the fire load exceeded the town's water supply. In the end, 4 blocks of boardwalk in Seaside Park was destroyed. Tonight, Seaside Heights starts its centennial celebration, but the tragic event certainly put a damper on the party.
People have just started to feel better about themselves. The season was disappointing as far as tourism, and now this. So it's just heartbreak.
Okay. All right, taking a live look at the debris here on the ground, you can see just the enormity of it. It used to be the pier. That funhouse sign, of course, would have been facing us, and then the rest of the boardwalk. And you can still see some of the smoke rising from the smoldering embers of yesterday's fire. And again, fire investigators remain on the scene trying to determine an exact cause. And by the way, Sky Fox is over the scene. You can really see just the swath that this fire created, that the fire took out and destroyed the 4-block stretch of boardwalk here in Seaside Park and neighboring Seaside Heights. You can see just the enormity and the destruction of what this fire did yesterday. And again, investigators remain on the scene trying to determine a cause.
No,
this
give her
fire,
one,
by the
Melissa.
way, according to one official, may have been the worst, if not one of the worst, in the area's history.
Give it the whole thing.
Okay, John Honey on the scene. Thank you very much for that.
And joining us now on the phone is Seaside Heights Borough Administrator John Camera. John, good to have you with us tonight.
Thank you.
Obviously, we've known where the fire started, but are we any closer tonight to knowing how it started?
No, honestly, there's been no determination as to a clear fact that the Coors building and all these other buildings were constructed on a wooden boardwalk, that fire traveled so quickly and so badly under the boardwalk with that wind that was blowing and pushed it to the north. But no, the actual initial cause is still undetermined.
John, there's obviously so much work to do. We heard it from the governor today and a lot of rebuilding there. Tell us about some of the business people that you've talked to and people in general there, how they feel after being been through so much there.
Sure.
Give her one.
And even though this is
Give her one now.
relatively small amount of business and property owners in town compared to
The whole
the
thing.
Sandy event. It's just devastating coming on the heels of that. And this is an area of the boardwalk that has so much history. It's where the boardwalk started. It was built here, slowly expanded to the north for the mile into Seaside Heights. And in the 50s, there was a major fire here also that took out Carousel. They rebuilt right after that. And one of the bigger property owners I spoke to was and he has insurance, and, I'm sure they'll get rebuilt. It'll take a few years, and it'll be better than ever by the time they're done. But emotionally, he was here with his son and his son's girlfriend, and they were crying, and it was just, it's an emotional, heavy-duty drain on a lot of people.
Without a doubt. John, we're looking at these live pictures, and, when you see the embers burn still, it's so eerie, so reminiscent of the fires after 9/11. I mean, it's just really unbelievable. Tell us,
It's interesting, and just real quick on your note, I thought the same thing this afternoon. Huge twisted girders, because the heat does that to the metal I-beams, and it reminded me of that.
You want a timeout?
It was just really devastating, but yeah, we've already started. I got to tell you on this one, from the public facilities rebuild, it's going to feel like easy rebuilding our entire boardwalk. I was up there today with our insurance. We've got insurance. It's not that big of a section of our public boardwalk to be rebuilt. So we'll be back up, I believe, before the end of the calendar year as far as our public facilities. But the magnitude of devastation on the private properties and the fact that so many were sold and had such a variety of businesses in there, that some of which may have only been viable because they were existing for so long. We may see some of these owners, coming up with a whole new game plan and taking some time to plan it out and everything that was here.
Without a doubt. Well, John, we certainly appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. We know this is the crisis of your life, probably. Thanks again. We really appreciate it, John, as we
Thank you.
People are pulling for you, too, that's for sure. All right, let's talk about the damage, of course. We have seen it. We look at it. The estimate's already in the millions of dollars following that boardwalk fire.
Let's get to Fox 5's Matt Alvarez with more on the economic impact of yesterday's fire.
Well, Ernie and Derry, we're now hearing upwards of 50 businesses have either been fully destroyed or partially destroyed here in Seaside Park and Seaside Heights. We can take a live look right now at the boardwalk. You can see construction equipment there. Now, the aftermath of yesterday's fire has reopened a wound that was just about to fully heal for residents and business owners here on the Jersey Shore. Right when the healing process from Superstorm Sandy was in full swing, this had to happen.
We were devastated by Sandy, and now the boardwalk fire destroyed pretty much all childhood memories.
Seaside Park and Seaside Heights boardwalk businesses were just about to shift to the fall season before closing for winter. But now that the fire destroyed upwards of 50 establishments, the economic toll is once again going to be drastic.
We're very strong. We've done it with Sandy. We're going to do it again with this.
David McKilly owns Jimmy's Breakfast. His business sits right across the street from where the fire tore through.
It's the worst feeling because we're standing here with my friends watching their buildings destroyed. And we all pulled through with Sandy. We all got up and got it done. We're hoping for a good future. But sit back like this, it's very heartbreaking. And I'm watching my friends watching the building going down in flames. It's very sad.
This past summer was already difficult for businesses to get back up and running. And when they did, poor weather and a weak turnout from tourists made things even more difficult. And with 40 to 60% of business lost this summer, fall projections are now almost hopeless for the businesses destroyed in yesterday's fire. To see the original cores go down like that must be difficult.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mean, we're a little desensitized because of our 3 stores that we lost on the boardwalk as well. But to see that firsthand as it happened, it was crazy.
And Governor Christie in a press conference today said that insurance inspectors will be here throughout the weekend to survey the damage. Reporting live in Seaside Park, New Jersey, Matt Alvarez, Fox 5 News. Ernie and Derek.
Okay, thank you, Matt, for that. Stay with Fox 5 as we continue to follow the aftermath of that boardwalk fire. At 5:30, we'll walk the boardwalk with an emotional Governor Christie. That's coming up.
All right, well, we could know